Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas, where Esteban Ocon has claimed a shock victory around the Hungaroring. It was an epic race today. And another fantastic advertisement for Formula One with the excitement, drama, controversy that came with today's race. And with me today to discuss the outcomes for the championship, the drama, even controversy post-race with Vettel and you know not topping up the fuel tank, all that sort of stuff. We'll get into that today. And to join me, I have Mahad, Chris, Kunle, and Kwame. Let me come to you first, Kwame. How you doing? You keeping all right?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I thought today was a good race. Was a race we needed after the past couple of weeks we had of racial abuse in sport. We had a marshal pass away in Brands Hatch. You've seen drivers have harsh crashes like Jack Aiken in this bar. This was the perfect race we needed just to bring the sport together. Just before the summer break, it was eventful. There was a mixed match in the field, a surprise winner. There's controversy after the race as well. Like, we don't know the results of the race really truly. Like, it was an amazing race, and yeah. So shout out to the whoever, for this.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And yeah, at the time of recording, it's still up in the air as to whether P2 has been awarded to Sebastian Vettel. I mean, we're going to still get into it. So we're recording 11:30 at night, and yeah, I think there has been a statement from the FIA to say that he has been disqualified, but who knows? Come Monday morning, anything can happen in the world of Formula One. Kunle, joining us from Canada. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm happy. We've got a Canadian boy in the points, Nicky. That's what I've got to say.
Nicky Latifi, yeah?
What, you claiming Latifi now? This is all mad. You're claiming Latifi, Kunle?
The shamelessness of Kunle is definitely going to claim Latifi, being a Canadian boy. Chris, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. My guy George Russell got points in the Williams. People are seeing Mick race other cars and appreciating the skills. My stocks are up. I'm happy. That's
good. A convenient time for you to jump on the pod as well, Chris. So we love it. We love the shamelessness again over here. And last but not least, Mahad, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm back. It's been a while. Exciting race to come back to. Perfect race to kind of sign off just before summer break. And yeah, a lot happened today. And we had a new winner, Ocon. So Hungaroring, they love giving us new winners. We've got another one. Congratulations, Ocon.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah. Thanks, guys. You didn't ask how I was doing, but yeah. In case you are wondering, I'm doing well.
You doing all right?
I'm doing
all good.
Fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top. Hamilton's now clear in the championship. It's all good on my side. I'm very, very happy.
So all your investigations over the last 2 weeks after Silverstone has paid off.
To be fair, we probably should speak about that at a later date. As I said, we need to do this WhatsApp diaries at some point, because some of the stuff that has been said in the group chat is a craziness will continue throughout the season. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? Hamilton's top of the pole, Mercedes are top, the constructors, it's all good. Horner's getting hot again, so yeah, brings a smile to my face, put it that way. But yeah, enough of that. The main event today was really kicked off by the crash at the start. So for those of you that may have not seen the race, or were unable to witness the images, Hamilton was on pole, Bottas second, Verstappen third, and Perez fourth. And as they got off the line, it was a wet race. So all the drivers were starting on intermediates. There was a bit of moisture on the surface, and they kind of got away in formation, apart from the man himself, Bottas, who was kind of slow getting away. And as they sort of headed down into turn one, you had Hamilton leading alongside Verstappen. Well, Verstappen was behind, and Perez was third. And as a result of Bottas's poor start, he was trying to make up ground, and I think he just got on the brakes too late. I think he was 6th or 7th by the time he reached turn 1. Careered into the back of Norris, who then took out Verstappen. Bottas, as a result of crashing into Norris, went into Perez. And during all of that drama, we had Stroll trying to make his Aston Martin a 4x4. Went across the grass, completely took out Leclerc, who also took out Ricciardo. It was all going off as they went into turn 1. Of course, the race was red flagged off the back of that, but that chaos, that drama at the start, Toto Wolff alluded to it prior to the race that, you know, it could be crazy going into this first corner on the first lap. But I just want to get your thoughts, Mahad, in terms of your initial reaction on the back of that crash.
So absolute chaos. The rain came at a convenient time. Everybody just changed over to Inters. I did tweet once I saw that it started raining. I said, look, this is going to be a red flag. Lap 1. It's happening. Just because someone's going to fuck up. Because if there's not been any wet weather the whole weekend, we're talking about practice, we're talking about qualifying, it's been scorching hot. People are not used to the weather just changing so quickly, and they don't know about that track evolution and so on and so on. With Bottas, he had a poor start. You saw Norris go on the outside of him. I think that kind of like rattled him a little bit, and then he just went straight into. He braked so late. I don't know what he's on. I have no idea. That is not that. Does he not understand that it's raining? You need to brake a little bit earlier. You need to be a little bit cautious. I don't know whether he just saw all these cars flying past him on either side of him, and he's like, "Oh shit, I was P2. What the fuck?" And then he just went into the back of Norris. Norris just blindsided completely. Norris goes into the side of Verstappen. Verstappen was going around on the right-hander because he had a good position. And then Bottas went into the side of Perez, and his engine just kind of like went up in smoke. I don't know. These Red Bulls are made of paper mache. I don't know what's going on. And it was absolute carnage. I'm gonna have to blame Bottas on it. Even Toto Wolff apologized. He's probably just doing bare apologies in the pit lane to all the teams' races that were ruined because of Bottas's decision. I feel kind of bad for him. It's stupidness, but you could see that he's pissed off Bottas that he made that mistake, and he kind of said sorry with that situation. Stroll, God knows what Stroll's drink driving.
Yeah,
I'm
that was crazy.
assured he's drink driving. Man's drink driving. I don't know what he's on. He was doing absolute madness. He went over the curb. He's all right. He's usually all right in the wet. I don't know what happened today. Leclerc should be pissed.
I was pissed. I was pissed off because I was watching Karun Chandok's analysis, and he said that Stroll was by the time Stroll was braking, he literally had nowhere to go. So for some reason, he saw a gap and he decided to go over to the inside because he thought that would somehow slow the car down. All that done on that slippery surface just went straight off, took out Leclerc, and as a result, took out Danny Rick as well. So it was crazy. Cars obviously retired. Cars went back to the pits. Well, not went back to the pit lane, and they were able to repair it. We'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, it was just a catastrophic start to the Grand Prix. I mean, for viewing and for fans, it was amazing. It was amazing content. It was such good excitement. But I'm going to come to you on this, Chris. How did you see Bottas in those opening exchanges? Would you say the blame is 100% completely with him, or do you reckon you could give him a bit of leeway due to the conditions, etc.?
Nah, this one is 100% on him. He even said himself he's got a bad start. Everyone's overtaking him, and he just misjudged everything. He was right up Norris's gearbox. Like, there's no excuses for this one. Obviously, it's been raining or whatever, but he's an experienced man. He's a grown man. Like, you're 31. Like, you've been driving F1 cars for how many years now? There's no excuses for, crashing into man in such a manner. And, it's a long race, 70 laps. There's no need to do heroics into turn 1 if you made a bad start. Always time to catch up.
Yeah, bro, I completely agree with you. I think on the account he got the Mazepin of the day, right?
Oh, that was a
Won't be
landslide.
surprised.
That
Yeah,
I
that
think
was a
that's one of the
landslide for
worst
Bottas, yeah?
results I've ever seen. It was an absolute landslide for Bottas.
Yeah, that
And
was.
I think Stroll should have got more votes, but Bottas got the lump of it. Let me just tell you what Bonotto said. Bonotto said that should not happen in Formula One. That's not how Formula One drivers race. He's like, these two guys, this is not driving in Formula One. I don't know what Stroll and Bottas were on.
To be honest, I have to give Bottas a bit of leeway because out of the two, I think Stroll's was the worst. I didn't know what he was doing. He cannoned straight across the grass. He literally took out Leclerc, and I was just like, I was pissed when that happened. But
do you know what though? Do you know what? That's because Stroll's is drink driving, Bottas is panic driving because Bottas had a bad start. Stroll, I don't know what he was on. I don't know what sport he's driving.
You know what was weird? Yeah, as they entered the braking zone, I was watching Bottas. It seemed like he speeds up and then he decides to brake. So they're approaching the braking zone. He's behind Norris. They're all slowing down. He appears to speed up and then slow down, and then he just obviously the front wheel's locked and he careened straight into the back of Norris. It's crazy.
I believe Namna is a dangerous driver.
Yeah, I say shout out. But you know what? I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
actually, shout out Nam for that.
Shout out for this because ever since he said a hot take, it's been creeping in a bit. But I don't know. It's like when he was driving, because like he sped up. I feel like he forgot. I feel like he forgot it was raining. Because that's no break spot you break if it's not raining. He just went zoom and then just went to the back of Norris. Ross, Stroll tried to avoid it somehow, and he got himself in more trouble. It was just a mess from both of them too. I think Stroll was worse personally, but they're just bad at each other. Clash there.
Norris was pissed. Norris said that he was doing go-karting, that Bottas was on go-karting moves. That's how pissed he was.
Claire was saying, what was it, bowling as well? He got taken out.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's speak on Leclerc. Let me speak on Leclerc. Because tell me why this man crashed, at 3 minutes past 2. 4 minutes past 2, man's tweeting. With helmet still on, he's tweeting.
He's a popular guy. He needs to let his fans know his frustration.
Brother, go do concussion checks. Go speak to your Bonotto and all them. Why you still got your helmet on your tweet? You went straight into the pit lane and it says, yo, give me my phone. Tweet. I need to make sure that people don't know it's not my fault. You have to make sure everybody knows. Look, because he's got a tendency to crash on lap 1. He's like, no, I'm not Mr. Lap 1. I'm letting people know that weren't on me. But that was hilarious. He just tweeted immediately.
Yeah, I know. So someone dropped a tweet. It was like, like 5 past 2, he sat in the car, and then like 10 past 2, he's like tweeting away. Crazy. But I suppose what that did do on the back of that, crazy crash that we saw, which was obviously caused by Stroll and Bottas respectively, was that it allowed a few drivers to make a bit of an advantage. So obviously Latifi, I think he moved up into 6th. Was it 6th?
I think it was 6th. He gained a lot of places.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was like third at one point as well. He was up there.
Yeah, he was up there.
He was ahead of Ocon. He was ahead of Vettel.
Yeah,
he got dumped on quickly.
Basically, it worked out that the back markers and those who had the shit start ended up avoiding all the chaos, and we're able to make up a lot of places. But yeah, as they were, navigating their way around the rest of the lap, I think the safety car was brought out, and obviously they had to red flag the session because there was just way too much debris, carbon fiber across the circuit. Now, I think what that resulted in was, cars coming back into the pit lane. We saw Max's car was damaged severely. Perez, I think, had to take an engine penalty. Ricciardo's car was damaged. Who else had crashed out? Vettel? No, Leclerc crashed out as well. I think that was it.
Norris, obviously. Norris,
obviously.
Perez, they had to retire. Who else retired? A lot of people retired.
It was
Stroll retired.
Yeah, it was just
retired. It was crazy.
It was all just kicking off, and I think it was for about half an hour. They then had to obviously come in the pit lane whilst they cleared up the track, and then once the pit lane was open, it was obviously from a typical standing start. So the Hungarian weather, the weather as it always does, played its part, and the track was drying up. So as they're navigating around on Inters, the tyres that they originally started on, the track was just too dry for that tyre. And on that formation lap, as they were coming to the grid, a lot of drivers were coming onto the radio and saying, yeah, you know what, this is bone dry. I remember even George Russell coming around. I think he was sick or something at the time, and said, yeah, look, this is straightforward. We got to change to the dry tyres here. And what resulted was probably one of the weirdest F1 clips that we'll see in a while, with all the drivers on that formation lap coming into the pit lane to change tyres onto the mediums, or the hards, well, the dry tyres. And it left Hamilton starting on the track by himself. And as the lights went out, it was seemed as though he was just racing against himself. What did you make of that, Kwame? What was all of that drama about? Walk me through it.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's still Mercedes, you know, mess up the track here, and you know, it was a very mind-boggling decision from them. Especially like you guys said, you know, at that point, the rain has stopped now. The track was beginning to dry. Everyone else had realized that the track's drier. The intermediates will not cut it in this conditions. We have to go for the harder or the medium tires, the drier compounds that day. But Mercedes, for whatever reason, thought let's go for the intermediate. There was still some discussions of, you know, it might rain again. The clouds are still quote unquote grey. They thought they can hold it out and long it out, and they thought that okay, cool. They can still hold on for the fact that it could rain again, so they thought let's stay for the intermediate. But the first lap showed that no, that was not possible, and they literally lost a whole lap because they literally could have got a 10-20 second lead on all the other cars if they just went to the pit and put on the medium and harder tires, and they would have, like I said in the future, they would have won the race today if they got that pit stop spot on, but they didn't. So it literally wasted a whole pit stop.
So I want to put you on the spot here. If they did bring in Hamilton on that formation lap and they did change his tyre, would he still end up at the head of the queue in the pit lane?
Probably not. That's the thing they were discussing. Probably not, just because of where Mercedes are in the pit lane. They're the first team in the pit lane. So I doubt they would have came out first, to be honest with you. Like, you saw the actual lamp did get muddled up. You did see people like Verstappen, who was rock bottom, kind of bump up to like 11th or 12th and whatnot. You saw certain people move up and down in the whole pit stop strategy. So I think Paul could go down to like 3rd or 4th, 5th, but it would have been less of a gap for him to come back in the end of the race we saw today, because the Mercedes was the faster car. Obviously, Red Bull had their issues. So I feel like he wouldn't have been at pole at the beginning, but he would have climbed up the field much more quicker than he did today in the first place. So it would have worked out better.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that question that you just said, Anik, I think it's a bit of a mute one, because even if he lost position going inside the pits, at that time he's still the fastest car. So
100%.
If Verstappen's got damage, Bottas is out, Perez is out, you're the fastest car there. So if you, I don't know, for example, came out in the pit and you've got fresh tires on, like everybody else got the dry tires, and you're let's say 6th, you're still going to overtake all these individuals and gain the lead and make it much easier than what you had to do was coming from last and making it very, very difficult for yourself. So I know Toto Wolff came out and said, we stick by the decision. It was the right decision and so on. But we heard from Lewis after, when he was speaking on the podium, look, I was telling him it was dry, and I didn't really understand why they told me to stay out. So you kind of have to listen to the feedback and kind of, Toto, you can admit that you're wrong sometimes. You don't need to say you stand by the decision. It's okay to make a strategic mistake.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And so is that exactly what happened then? So was it Lewis telling them that, look, the track is dry, I feel as though we should switch?
Lewis was telling them, the track is dry, whilst their original plan was to stay out with the Inters and just stay out with them.
So again, it's a mistake from Mercedes. And what were you going to say, Chris?
I know I was going to add one thing. The problem is that Mercedes themselves couldn't tell Lewis to come in exactly because that's the rules. That basically teams shouldn't be telling drivers to come in. It's up to the drivers to make the call and be like, I'm coming in. So that's where
Lewis should have made that call.
Like a tinge of blame on Lewis. Yeah, Lewis should have been the one saying, I'm coming in, like I'm boxing, this is it. Because if the teams make the call, someone could just complain and moan and be like, oh, what's going on here? So they have to be a bit vague to call on formation.
Yeah, because I think that's why Sainz got a penalty, didn't he? Because I think there was discussion on the formation lap, back and forth between driver and engineers. And I don't know if you're allowed to do that on the formation lap, but
you're not meant to do it on the formation lap. But
so
again,
I feel as though
Lewis's information that was made before he did the formation lap. That was when he was on the pit on the pit wall, getting told that rather than when he was driving. So
I feel as though like Lewis can still take a bit of blame there. Like he could have made the decision himself and come in. Who knows where he would have fed out? But look, regardless of the situation, it was quite awkward seeing him as the only driver start the race. He obviously went round and done one lap. Actually, he didn't even complete the lap. He came straight into the pits, changed onto the slick tires, and came out in last place. All of the other remaining drivers, I think it was 13 drivers, all left the pit lane, and Lewis had to obviously charge through the field. And in doing that charge, again, we saw his sheer racecraft, his overtaking ability. Literally why he's the GOAT. He charged from 14th on the grid on a circuit that is notoriously very hard to overtake, and has, I think, fingers crossed, ended up with a net P2 as a result of it. What did you make of that charge through the field, Mahad, on the back of that sort of Mercedes stroke Lewis error at the restart?
He's the GOAT, man. This is GOAT performances. He's overtaking hella man on a track that's known for not overtaking. And he's just doing it in absolute extreme conditions, from the back all the way to the front. And obviously the whole situation was a completely difficult one, but he managed to overcome it once again. No matter what you put in front of him, he just overcomes the situation every single time. The guy, he was going so fast in that race. He was eating up time. He's doing quali laps. No wonder why he looked like he was about to faint at the end of the race, because he's doing quali laps for 70 laps to gain all the positions and get back to where he was, to get to a respectable position anyway. He was the only person that, so basically, like what Kwame said, he wasted a lap because of the whole intermediate thing. So he's already fucked up and wasted a lap there. And then he's managed to do 2 pits. He went on a 2-stop strategy. And he still came third or second now. This is unbelievable stuff. It's like he's driving handicapped. You might as well just give him negative time and then he'll build up the time at the end of the race, because he's that much better than everybody else. And he can extract so much out of his car. He managed to do what he needed to do and recover the position and recover the whole situation and got a respectable position. And again, it just shows the quality of the driver that he is.
Yeah, fantastic performance. Obviously, with Verstappen's car, being severely damaged, losing half the floor on one side of his car, I think Lewis realized that he had to maximize the situation. And considering where he was after the restart, it was a superlative effort in obviously clawing his way up and ending up in, we're saying it now, a net P2. I think that charge, though, was based on a lot of moments. And I think what you saw, especially at Hungaroring, if you get stuck in the DRS train, if you get stuck into the dirty air, it is really, really difficult to overtake. And what we saw was Lewis stuck behind, I think it was Gasly at the time. It was, I think it was
Mick,
Gasly.
It was
Verstappen,
Mick and
it
was Mick and Gasly and Verstappen. Yeah.
And I think what we saw there was that, Mercedes had to make a call, and they pitted him early so that he could then perform the undercut on Verstappen, on Danny Rick, and obviously Gasly by that point had, was playing a completely different strategy. But that moment there, coming out the pits just ahead of Verstappen and literally overtook Ricciardo around the outside of turn one, I thought, those sort of charges are done on those specific moments. And that really, for me, made his race and, helped that charge significantly. I want to come to you on this, Chris. What did you make of Lewis's performance today?
It was a masterclass in driving. He showed why he's a 7-time world champion. He was decisive with his moves. The only person that really gave him a spot of bother was Alonso for those couple of laps, and he's the end. An extra lap or two, he could have easily have won the race. So it was like a really great recovery from a situation that mostly wasn't his fault. Like the team dropped the ball and he recovered and bailed them out. So that's all I have to say on the matter. Great driving, great overtakes, whether it was up the inside of Tsunoda turn 4 or the battles he did with Alonso and so on. So it's like fantastic driving, showing his completeness.
Yeah, it was amazing. I wouldn't quite say faultless, because what we saw in the battle for what at the time was third place, he was trying to get past Alonso and therefore Sainz. He was held up behind Alonso for a few laps, and it seemed as though with the fresher tyres on that charge, he was unable to get past Alonso. I'm going to come to you on this, Kwame. What was that? Was it a bit of both, like Hamilton's just inability to sort of shake off and deter Alonso, as well as great defensive driving from Alonso?
I think we've got to give it to Alonso here. That was the masterclass in defending. That was his experience kicking in, his former prime self, 0506, 15 years there, still going. That's that's typical, what people say in football. What class is permanent, but form is temporary, and it's so in there. This class is temporary, class permanent. As he did a fantastic job in a much more slower Alpine car, holding off Hamilton, being a great team player for Alpine and helping him get the win. Because if it wasn't for Alonso defending Lewis for 10 laps, which is a big part of the race, especially towards the end as well, then Ocon would have won the race. And as we saw, Lewis got past that. It's literally 1 lap. He was actually in a faster Ferrari car, but because his tires were much more gone and he's, I guess, less experienced as well, overtaken straight away, and he was catching up onto Vettel and Ocon, who they weren't really the fastest, but they just held it on. And also as well, I feel like with Alonso as well, obviously him and Lewis got past history, teammates in 2007. Ironically, same circuit where their feud kind of blew up and they had their incident with the pit lane. But as you can see, a lot of respect there. They didn't go over the edge, with Max and Lewis. But I thought it was good racing. And again, there's a bit of Lewis as well, because the issue of Hungarian, like I said, there's not much overtaking opportunities in the track. It's a very twisty corner type circuit. So all you've got is this straight, and then turn 1, then to turn 2, then turn 3, then turn 4. And that's about it. And a lot of times, as Rosberg was saying on the commentary, he had a good job, by the way, on the commentary. They couldn't, Hamilton was a lot of time in the wrong position, the wrong place for him to overtake Alonso. Either he was too far away, and then, or when he got close to the DRS, his exits wasn't spot on. So, but as you saw in the last lap, he timed it perfectly. He was close enough, the right enough distance, and then the right exits in the corners for him to overtake Alonso. So he got a job spot on in the end. But yeah, some of the people are quicker, but he did his thing.
I feel as though the way in which Hamilton was, the way in which he overtook Alonso, eventually it was like, yeah, Lewis, that's the way to do it. I feel as though he was just trying to suss him out for a few laps. He was trying to go around the outside of turn 2. I think because it's so hard to overtake at the Hungaroring, I think one of the ways in which you have to overtake is set someone up so that you can overtake them around turn 2. And I think he was taking slightly compromised wider line to turn 1, so you can do the cutback and obviously go around. And that's exactly how he overtook Alonso, which was great to see. And yeah, I mean, Mahad, you touched on it earlier. Like, yeah, he was completely drained by the end of the race. Like, this is energy sapping for these guys. And yeah, I mean, all of us at Pitstop, we hope he's okay. But yeah, do you want to give any thoughts on that, Mahad?
Yeah. So, firstly, hold on. Alonso, like Kwame said, he did a masterclass defending. He actually kind of like, you know how Alonso always got like backhanded compliments. At the end of the race, he was like, I was expecting Lewis to take over me quicker. I think he said he said Lewis was making mistakes in the last 2 corners. He was expected like to get overtaken on the pit straight, and so on and so on. But yeah,
Alonso got driver of the day, didn't he?
He got driver of the day. F1 Heritage. That battle was
yeah.
F1 Heritage. Flashbacks of 07. Alonso was doing pride defending. He's like, nah, I'm not letting Hamilton do this, no matter what. He was just holding them off. Interesting quote from Alonso. Alonso was speaking to, I don't know, some other media outlet, and he was like, yeah, I was just holding him up, and it was good for Ocon. I was doing it for Esteban. And then he said I was doing it for Max as well. So that's a strange comment for Alonso to make. Yeah, you didn't know that, Anik.
He did it on Dutch TV.
He
did it on Dutch TV. That's still mad. To even say that,
Dude.
it's still mad.
Well, how did I not know about this? What's going on here?
Yeah. So basically,
Mahad, you hid that from me, yeah? You hid that from me, bro. Is that what it is, yeah?
I wanted to get your real life facial expression on there when I saw you.
Pissed off.
So people are like, really, it's basically the grid against Hamilton because they really don't want Hamilton to win. So that if you want evidence, there it is right there. That people are just, I was holding them up for Max. You should be holding them up for your teammate, mate. You should be holding up for your pride. You know what I mean? And do you know what? Alonso, he deserves driver of the day because he drove so well, especially in that Alpine. He's one of those guys that's really, really surprised me. I thought he wasn't going to have it being 2 years out of the game. And him returning to F1 and especially the form that he's put on in the last couple of races, he's really showing that, look, class is permanent. And it kind of shows the levels on Formula One that, look, this guy's up there when it comes to the drivers. But obviously Hamilton's much better than him and dealt with him accordingly. But it kind of cost Lewis the race because if he overtook him as quick as he overtook Sainz, you might have been looking at win number 100. Unfortunately, I apologize. I jinxed it. I tweeted something this morning from the account saying, yeah, win number 100's coming. Didn't happen, so I apologize to everybody for doing that.
It was this guy, man. Blame Mahad, everyone.
Yeah, it was definitely me. But yeah,
you got away 4 weeks now.
Yeah, Lewis was drained. Lewis, when he got to the podium, he looked like he was going to faint. He didn't look well at all. He was holding on to Ocon, basically. Ocon was holding him up. Post race, he was talking about like the physical stuff that's been going on with him as well. Experiencing long COVID. You have to remember that we even said it back in the Abu Dhabi race at the end of the season that was the only reason he lost that was because of COVID tax. And you can kind of see that you have to understand the levels of fitness that these Formula One drivers are required to have, and to have a long COVID and even be doing what he's been doing this season is absolutely crazy. And thank God there's a little break here at the moment, so he could rest and recoup and go for the title charge, go for number 8 towards the end of the season.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully, he can recharge those batteries and gun it for the rest of the year. I want to move on to Danny Ric, guys. Difficult weekend for him, wasn't it? Didn't he struggle trying to get past a Haas at one point? Didn't even pass a Haas. I think he was stuck behind Mick for a bit.
No,
Verstappen with half a car overtook him.
Mick this.
It wasn't the best weekend for Danny Ric. So yeah, take the floor, Mahad.
This is hurting me. This is long coming. Kulle kind of warned us about this early doors. That we need to put him on the watch list because he's not pulling up trees at McLaren. I think it's adequate. I think to have this conversation at the summer break because this guy has come into McLaren and he's absolutely stinking out the drain. And I like him as a driver. I'm a McLaren fan. I was happy. I was like, yo, we got Ricciardo. We got another race winner. Him and Norris, that could be the pair. I was actually thinking that Ricciardo was going to perform better than Norris pre-season. And you can see now this guy is not cutting the mustard whatsoever. I don't know whether it's mental. People could tell me, he needs to adapt to the car. Okay, how long am I going to give him? Show me something. Give me something. I beg you. Give me a cheeky podium. Give me some points. Give me something. The guy is losing 9-2 to Norris in races. This is the worst ratio right now of all people's teammates in terms of teammate battles. This is ridiculous stuff that we're seeing. We could possibly say, this is because Norris is so good and so on and so on. But Ricciardo is a revered driver. People will probably have him in their top 5 drivers on the grid. And you are getting absolutely cooked on this team. And I know that maybe the McLaren is notoriously hard to drive, and Sainz was in it, and Sainz is quite adaptable anyway. As you can see with Ferrari, he's managed to just bed in there quite easily. And Norris, that's the only Formula 1 car he knows, so he doesn't know if it's difficult or not. But with Ricciardo, I was expecting him to do much, much better than this. He is costing McLaren third in constructors. We are now tied with Ferrari. Norris is scoring 70% of our points. This is a carry job. I'm trying to think, where is Ricciardo in our driver standings? I think he's ninth. How are you ninth in a McLaren in driver standings?
Yeah.
In technically, supposedly the third best car.
It's a difficult weekend for him. And you know what? I actually watched back the whole race from 2014, and that was arguably his most enjoyable, best race that we've seen from Danny Rick. I remember it was, again, we had rain, we had safety cars during that race, and that was when I think he was new at Red Bull, and it was his first race win, and I was like, this is fantastic. And then fast forward 7 years on, and you see him probably one of his most difficult weekends. So it's funny how Formula One works at times. But I want to come to you, Kwame, on this. What do you make of Danny Rick's weekend?
It was a poor weekend. I mean, there's no hiding from it. It was a poor weekend. Obviously, qualifying, he failed to make it to Q3, failed to make it to the top 10. Vettel pipped him ahead of him. I'm mad. You can go ahead because I see you're shaking your head, bro. I mean,
hey, listen, this guy's in the McLaren. He's got knocked out of Q2. He got knocked out in Q2 5 times this season. 5. This ain't it. When you're talking about Norris having points finishes every single race, and then you're doing that in the same whip. I'm not.
Well, I mean, what's going on there? Is it driver? Is it car? Is it the fact that I don't know? Like his car was damaged today. I mean, like, the most ironic thing is the team he left has absolutely hauled today in Alpine. They've completely hauled today, and that's probably even pissing him off even more. And he's given this, this portrayal on camera that everything's okay, and he's smiley or whatever. But deep down, he must be getting really, really pissed off and upset with what's happening. I like him as a driver. I'll be honest with you. I do like him. But
people like him. But where's the limit? Where's the limit, Anik? If you continue to do badly and Norris is getting podiums and getting high point finishes and you're doing that, where do we see that? Because if it carries on at the end of the season and people are saying, he starts slow on. He started slow at Renault, but guess what? He was in a fucking Renault. This car is faster than a Renault back then.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing.
That's the major problem. That's the flaw. You can't use that as an argument because it's a big problem. It's a really, really big problem because he had a lot of problems. He had power unit issues at Renault when he first started. He had like all these types of problems where he had to just retire a car. That's not really happening right now at McLaren. They've given you the vehicle and they've said, yo, go do your thing and get us some points and get us third in constructors. And you're not doing that. I feel like as a McLaren fan, maybe we're just better off with having Sainz. Because I know Sainz was consistent and Sainz is going to get me points. So this guy was supposed to come in and get us podiums and he's not done that. And I kind of held off and I said, okay, let me wait till summer break. Let me see where he's at. But he's ninth in the standings and he's only got 30% of our points. He's only got 50 points. It's a joke.
So you Danny Rick out then?
This is like I like him, and this is horrible for me to even say. But look, listen, if that was any other driver, we would critique him, right?
Yeah.
We can't just do it because he's a nice guy, he's smiley, he's Australian. Look what he used to do before at Red Bull and so on and so on. You have to critique a man when he needs to be critiqued. And listen, I feel like we could get better people in this seat right now. I will better off with Sainz. So if I measure it that way, then maybe I am Danny Ricciardo. But I'm gonna have to just see what's happening in the rest of the season. If he's finishes ninth in the standings and he's barely got any points and we lose third in constructors because of him, then I'm definitely Danny Ricciardo. And he's gone down on my estimations in terms of drivers at the end of the day. But that's
it's true. No, I fully agree with you. You just got to see what Norris is doing next to him on the other side of the garage, and it just makes you think, where's it going wrong for him? But look, again, he's got a 4-week break, like everyone in the paddock. So hopefully he can recharge those batteries, and we can see some of his class, because I'm sure it's somewhere. But two drivers that did finish ahead of him today was Nicholas Latifi and George Russell. I'm taking it by face value and how it is at the moment. So Russell or Latifi haven't got any engine penalties or disqualifications or fuel tank issues yet. They got 8th and 9th, which gave Williams a grand total of 6 World Championship points. Chris, this is your moment, bro. George Russell, he managed to get Williams 2 points. Nico Latifi got him 4 points. What was your take on it, mate?
Well, with Vettel's disqualification, it's 7th and 8th, so they actually got 10 points, which is the most they've gotten since like 2017 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, you know, it was a good job by both drivers. I'm not going to discredit the TV. He drove a solid race today, but I'm happy. A lot of people, community, have been talking ill on Russell about when he's in the Williams, this, that, and another. His engine broke down in the Styrian Grand Prix. He had, he fell just short in the Austrian Grand Prix a week later. All of his heroics on Saturdays. The one time he drops a bit of a stinker on a Saturday, not really a stinker, but for his standards, a stinker. 2.5 years of hard work slogging along, and he's rewarded. He put in a great drive, kept faster cars behind him. Danny Rick couldn't.
I think you're breaking up there,
to the TV brothers.
Chris.
Yeah, 1 second.
All right,
so breaking up.
Let me try. Let me try. Yeah. Why are we eulogizing a man that got less points than his teammate, Mr. Nicky Latifi? Why are we eulogizing? Why is my man crying tears like he's won the Premier League or something for getting the fucking point? What are we doing?
He's put in the work. He's put in the work. He's the leader of the team.
Okay. The leader of the team is Latifi. Because guess what? The leader of the team is Latifi because he's got more points than him. How about that? Is that a fact?
No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Right, listen. Not how it works.
So
Yuki was the leader of Wait. Pause. So Yuki's the leader of Alfa Tauri because he had more points at Bahrain. That's your logic. So Sainz is the leader of Ferrari. He's not. Russell's the leader of the team. Let's not be stupid now. Relax.
Tell me why is your man crying for points? That's all the streets want to know.
Because it's been a long song. It's been 2 years of pain.
Hey,
it's been
the
pain.
standards are in hate.
Been in the gulag. He's been in the gulag. That's like you've come out of war and you've won. Everyone's doubting you.
You lost the war to your teammate.
Man went to a therapist because the team's so bad. Went to a therapist. Of course, man's gonna be crying. Man. He went through hell.
He's crying. Do you know why he's crying? Because Latifi's got more points than him. That's what it's
No.
Because Latifi didn't even. Latifi wasn't even doing Mr. Saturday. Latifi wasn't doing anything.
No.
And he just walked into more points. And it's like, I'm just happy to be here, guys.
He was what they're saying, I'll jump at the grenade for Latifi. Make sure he brings home the point. He said it on the radio. We all heard it loud and clear.
This guy's putting up bare statuses on LinkedIn. That was a LinkedIn status message. I swear to God, he did that straight for Toto. He didn't want that. If he's keeping it 100, bro, if he's keeping it 100 and keeping it real, yeah, he wouldn't have said that on the radio. Yeah, he wanted more. He wanted team orders. He wanted let Williams go ahead. When you're Latifi.
No. When you're at the back, yeah, it's not about you as a driver. It's about the team, because that's where you're fighting for. You're fighting the alphas for construction points. You have to maximize every opportunity you get. If you're at the front and he said that, I'd be like, that's a bit of a weird move, yeah? That's not it. But you're at the back. Every point for the team matters. They're now 7 points ahead of Alfa. Like, that's the kind of moves you have to make when you're at the back. It's like how Lando and Sainz, when they were in McLaren, they work together because they weren't fighting for the championship at the front. You're in the midfield. You do whatever you can to boost up your team. Get the points, get money for your team. Williams don't have no money. They're going to get some money now with this PA in the championship.
They're eating.
Latifi's letting them eat because he's got bread, yeah, and he gets the most points. This is where we're at the moment. This is. I don't want to be like
but Mahad,
downer for Russell fans and stuff like that. But this is the reality. Reality could sometimes be disappointing, but
bro,
Latifi
the reality
now has more points
is that. But didn't they make the most of the situation they were in?
No, big up Williams. They did their thing. Big up Williams. They did their thing, man.
But the reason why Latifi was there was because, you know, he managed to avoid all the, you know, incidents at the front. Like, he managed to avoid that, and he ended up in that position. He was third. No, was he third or was he?
Yeah, he was third
for a bit.
Yeah, he was third. He was ahead of like Vettel and Alonso, and then Alonso and Vettel overtook him. So he was up there, and that's just because he was so slow off the line. Same way with Vettel, he was so slow off the line. That's the reason why.
Because he was basically shit. He was able to end up in third.
Hey, look, listen, you take what you're given, innit? That's what. Hey, listen, one thing that Russell doesn't do is take his opportunities. He's been in the points before.
Another puncher in the puncher. That guy's luck is very fugazi because whenever he seems to get a point or it goes off for him, something just goes wrong. The time with last year with Kubica, Kubica somehow the one race he finished ahead of him is one race Kubica got a point and Russell didn't. And then you've got obviously Bahrain, Sakir, man was winning and then the team did him dirty. And now again this race here, he had a puncher. I mean, he still got his points, but
let me say something. If you're crying over getting 1 point, yeah, I don't know if you've got the mentality to go against Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton might dust you real quick.
He's got a therapist. He'll be calm. He's got a therapist. He'll be calm.
All right. Stuff like that.
Grosjean was doing bad, but a therapist started slapping up podiums. The kid's got everything correct in his head. He knows what he's doing.
Hey. Are you telling me Russell's going to be like Grosjean? Is that the benchmark?
No, as in, look at Max, look at Leclerc, yeah? Them man need therapists to calm themselves down because they're moving a bit brazy with it, yeah? That's how you get the consistency and how you win championships. You calm yourself down. You don't move mad.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
As we could tell. Okay, I agree with you, Chris. I think here at Pitstop, we endorse people having therapists, the drivers having therapists, for them to calm down, and then for their emotions to spill over and cry over getting less points than your teammate. But here we are.
Congratulations, Russell. Yeah, he carried the team. He carried the team.
How you carry a team?
And the team is him.
Your teammate got more points.
Of the team.
Carry what? You got 0 points every race. You got 0 points every race. What are you carrying?
Look. Eddie Irvine got more points than Michael in 99 for whatever fugazi reasons, yeah? But Michael carried the team. He's the spirit of the team. We all know who's the top dog is.
Hey, if your team is that washed and you're the spirit of the team, boy, it's nuts.
So there's one final thing on Russell.
Right.
that I kind of want to touch on. Like, did you see what he done in the pit lane as well? Where he thought he could, like, you know,
he's a cheeky guy,
jump, just jump the queue like that. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
He took over so many people.
That's the thing. That's the thing. What champions do? They try. You know, see what's possible. You bend the rules in your favor, and if you get caught, you know,
bro, he
went for the glory.
He genuinely thought
if he pulled out,
he could
he
get away with
first
that
on the road.
He thought he could get away with that, right?
Rules, there's no like, real rules against it.
Yeah, he gave the positions back. FIA called him and said, "Yo, bring it back." That's why he started slowing down.
That's cheeky.
FIA are calling you and telling you, "Yo, you need to go give all the positions back. You're taking the piss." That's what he was doing.
I don't know that.
He was literally taking the piss.
I was looking at a distance. I was like, "Why is Russell doing that?" I was thinking, "Why is this guy on the side overtaking everybody and trying to come out the pits first?"
You can overtake in the pit lane, but just not in the way he did it.
Anyway, what I'll say is, shout outs to Nicholas Latifi, second coming to Jack Villeneuve, pride of Canada. I know Kunle wanted me to say this. Nicky's our guy. Now you exist. I know Nam said you don't exist. You exist now. Congratulations. Welcome to Formula One.
All right. Okay. So as it stands, Latifi got 6 points and Russell got 4 points, right? I just want to be sure because I literally have no idea what's going on. But so they got a grand total of 10 points then for Williams. Yeah. So
if that was disqualified.
Yeah. So it's looking good for them. Let's see what happens. Russell, Latifi. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm happy for Williams, to be honest with you. I am happy. I'm happy for Russell. I don't think it warrants tears. I think you just got to look at the reaction between two of the drivers. I mean, Latifi was like, happy. He was pleased. I mean, he wasn't, getting too emotional about the situation. But look, it's one of them. Happy for Williams. And I genuinely feel as though they made the most of the situation they were in. There was carnage after the first corner. Presented them with a favourable situation, which they ended up maximising. So, yeah, very, very happy for Williams. Now, we've talked about so much today, and we didn't even talk about the battle for the lead or the race winner himself, Esteban Ocon. Brilliant. I think he's the first French driver since Alain Prost to win a Grand Prix. Myself and Kunle remember those days very well. A while ago yet. But yeah, Kwame, let me come to you on this. It was, I'm going to stick my neck out. It was kind of straightforward for Ocon, wasn't it? Vettel didn't really apply the pressure on him. I know there was one move late down into turn one around, I think it was lap 63, 64. But aside from that, it seemed like he just had it under control, right?
Yeah, he did. That's what I'm going to give Ocon. He had the race under control. I guess the closest, situation as well that Vettel could overtake was the pit stop as well. That they had, I believe that was the first round of pit stops, if I'm not mistaken. The second round pit stops. The first round pit stops, yeah, they had. And because the first top five cars pitted later than the cars later on the grid. And Vettel, unluckily for him, Aston Martin were much more slow. The pit stops things were on like 3 seconds compared to Alpine's 2 seconds. And even though Vettel had the faster outlap, he couldn't overtake Ocon in the end because Alpine had the faster pit stop. And there was another opportunity, like I said, Anik, in the first corner where Kimi got in the way of Ocon. And we need to get into the Alphas. We need to get into the Alphas if you've got time because they were moving very, very dodgy and fugazi. But
yeah, we'll speak about it.
They were poor, honestly. Again, Kimi got in the way of quite a few drivers today. But listen, yeah, I know he's just there for hobby now, so he doesn't really care too much. But yeah, he tried to go for the overtake, but it didn't work out. But I felt like today, like I said in the group chat, I felt like Ocon, he did his thing. He was very composed, didn't make any mistakes, which is what needed when you're leading a race, especially in an opportunity like this where Alpine ain't going to be an opportunity out of their own back coming free to win the race, in my opinion. You've got to take what you get in situations, and they definitely did that. They definitely played strategy well. Alonso was a great teammate helping out Ocon. Aston Martin, Vettel, I thought they were unlucky today. Not even with the disqualification, we'll go into that, but I thought they were unlucky because they were actually lapping faster than Ocon on their timesheets. But unfortunately for them, they just was never any opportunity to overtake Ocon. And when they were, they were never like close enough for it to be anything major. So I guess that's unlucky on their front. But yeah, Ocon did a good job. We'll give them to.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to say actually, but Alpine are probably the 7th or 8th quickest car on the grid. I mean, I would only say that Alfa, Haas, and Williams are slower than them.
Yeah, give or take.
Arguably.
Yeah. I say the same as Aston Martin, but yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Aston Martin, yeah.
Yeah, and for them to end up, winning the race and, Alonso potentially ending up in 3rd. Brilliant for them today. Brilliant. Mahad, let me come to you on this. Ocon, is he going to milk it and is he going to live off this one victory?
Hey, listen, yeah, it is very hard to win in Formula One.
Yeah,
this is
no, definitely,
especially in a Lewis Hamilton area where he wins bloody 60% of the races all the time. So this is a rare occasion, but you got to take your opportunities. And Ocon's done it. He kind of he had an opportunity in Sakir last year. He came 2nd, and Perez took that opportunity. So he's been close, but no cigar, and he's managed to finally get the win. Guess what? I feel like it's just like to drive with somebody with the experience of Vettel behind you and to make no mistakes. That's the thing. Usually when somebody's never had a win before, they've not really been up the top of the grid and had those battles. For him to make no mistakes for that many laps is outstanding, and that's outstanding drive. And it deserves it. He's from the mud. He's one of the only drivers actually from the mud. He's like, I think his parents sold their house. He was living in the caravan, going around to the racetracks and so on and so on. And he finally lived his dream and got a race win. This is sometimes for drivers. This is it for them, getting these wins, because they might not ever get the move to the big team, or their team might not develop into a top team. So these race wins and these moments need to be cherished. And he managed to get to do that, to step on that top step of the podium. And I'm proper happy for him. And with Vettel's funny because Vettel only really had one opportunity to overtake him. And it was that time with Raikkonen in the way, and even Vettel was like, that's a Maldonado space. That's what he said. That wasn't really a gap. Only Maldonado would go in that gap. Which, listen, Maldonado, he's driver of the streets. He's still getting mentioned in press conferences in bloody 2021.
Funny guy. Funny
guy. But Ocon, yeah, man, he done so well, and I'm happy for him. He's got that race win now. So if somebody ever says, put your race wins on the table, he's got it right there. Same as Gasly. People are living off that Gasly win. Now people are going to be living off that Ocon win. And I respect it.
Yeah. No, it was, what? It was great to see. Obviously, he didn't know where to park his car after winning the Grand Prix. And then he parked it down the end of the pit lane and he was running back up.
Did you see what car was on P1? Why is Alonso's car on the P1? Alonso's sick in his head. That's his win. He thinks he's gone home to his family and said, I wanted it.
I wanted it
because that's a psychological thing. Man put on the Alpine on the front and said, yo, that's my car. I won the race.
Yeah. By the way, don't mention Alonso anymore now, because now you told me he's doing it for Max. It's got my head a little hot, but we'll save that for another day.
Listen, Alonso and Hamilton's got beef, man. We know this already. This is old school shit. Yeah. He ain't forgot.
Hamilton ain't forgot though. Hamilton actually done a really good overtake on him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. No.
Hamilton lined him up perfectly. For
Alonso locked up though. I don't know if it was.
No, but I think Hamilton lined him up for that. Watch it again. Hamilton lined him up for the overtake.
He was going to overtake him regardless. He was denying, but the earlier laps, it's like you had all of Hamilton's moves. He was reading his playbook. It's like he knew him like back to front. I was like, oh shit, this is nuts. But yeah, forget about Alonso. This is Ocon's day. Let's give Ocon his flowers. We heard the French anthem on the podium. You know what I mean? We ain't heard that in a while. here we are.
I ain't heard it in a while,
Congratulations,
yeah.
Ocon. Welcome to the winners' club. Welcome to the winners. He won before Norris, though, so I'm a bit upset, but here we are.
No, it's good. We're really, really happy for him. And Chris, I'm going to come to you on this. How refreshing was it to see a podium that was a bit shaken up? You know, Ocon on the top step. Well, the podium that we saw. Ocon on the top step. Vettel number 2. Hamilton number 3. Yeah. What was your take on that? It was nice to see, right? And I suppose also it seemed like it was so. Even in the post-race interviews that I think Johnny Herbert was doing, it seemed like such a good vibe, such a good atmosphere. Everyone was like happy, ecstatic. It was, really nice to see. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Chris?
I thought it was a great podium. It's 3 drivers who are good vibes. They're good people. You know, it's always refreshing to see different man on the podium, not the normal, you know, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas kind of vibe that we normally get. Everyone was happy, you know. Esteban seems like a good guy that everyone likes. Seemingly everyone loves Vettel, so I'm happy with it. Also, one thing about Ocon is that because Alpine finally fixed his car at Silverstone, he's back on the pace again after those couple of bad rounds. So I'm extra happy for him that, you know, a kind of really quick redemption arc after his new contract. Like, everyone making jokes about his pockets being too heavy to actually drive quickly, but he's showing that he actually deserves this money now.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, definitely. I bet you he's going to be the guy in the paddock this evening with a huge smile. He's probably celebrating right now. So yeah, we'll make a toast to you, Ocon. Great performance today, and honestly, I'm really, really happy for him. I actually thought that he was going to step up and be the new Mercedes driver a couple of years ago, because I know he's always had a good relationship with Toto, but hey ho, it's one of those. Last but not least, Kwame, you said you wanted to speak on the Alphas a bit.
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, dreadful waste from the guys. Dreadful waste. I mean, they were they didn't win match of the day. That was Bottas because of his dreadful start, but they were one of the nominees. And yeah, I mean, where do I start? First, obviously, they had the unsafe pit stop from Kimi. Yeah, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that in the pit lane. That's a rookie mistake in F1. We know that. Then also you had Giovinazzi getting his penalty as well today.
Because he took out Mazepin, right?
That's Kimi.
Sorry. Oh yeah.
But
speeding in the pit lane.
Speeding in the pit lane, yes. So yeah, time penalty for that, 10 seconds lost on. It just seemed like a bit of a mismatch today. 14th and 10th/11th for Raikkonen, 14th out of 40 for Giovinazzi. You got outdone by Mick Schumacher in the Haas, who Mick have to give his props today, because Mick was, fighting Verstappen pretty well in a half, in 50%, fitness of Red Bull, but he did his thing with Ricciardo as well, and Hamilton for a bit. The Alfa Romeo was just not on the ball today, nowhere near in the field, and just wasn't it.
Hey, one thing I noticed about Alfa Romeo, Giovinazzi had to do a 10 seconds stop go penalty. So he went in the pit stop. He's waiting the 10 seconds, and they still fucked up the pit stop. You had 10 seconds, and they still fucked up the tires. I said, "This is nuts." I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I don't know if it went under the radar, but you was waiting there for 10 seconds, and you still did a slow lap pit stop. These men are on a joke team. Absolutely joke.
They're funny.
And also, as well, Williams have overtaken them in the constructors as well.
Yeah, they're clear now.
Oh yeah, I'm saying this. See that fanboy of Gio, in the group, the fanboy of Gio, Russell has 4 times his points. Hold that. I've had enough, bro. I've had enough. Slightly Russell, every opportunity. Your boy has 1 point. Russell has 4 times that, bro.
All right, relax. Yeah. We've got stay calm. Giovinazzi in his career has had a lot of points.
That's the only agenda I've got. I need to let it cook.
I'm just firing shots, yeah. It's not at Gio, it's at the member of the cast. They know who they are.
All right, listen, yeah. What? Okay, we're not gonna do that. He's talking about Marks, everybody.
Martin.
We don't do member of the thing. We talk Martin. We say names in it. We don't be doing member of the cast.
Oh no,
But
could they? I'll say name.
Okay. One thing I'm gonna say, yeah, an undercover, what we call Mazepin Award, has to go to Aston Martin because anyhow Vettel is disqualified because he didn't have enough fuel in his car. You're supposed to be monitoring fuel levels. What are you doing on the pit wall and not telling Vettel that? And now he's disqualified. Yeah. Even if you told him to slow down and all of a sudden Hamilton overtook him, guess what? You still got a fucking podium. Why have you risked everything by not telling him what the fuel levels are? Vettel's not going to know. It's going to be the pit wall. It's going to be the people on the side of the in the pit lane. He's not going to know. So he's been disqualified for no reason. Of no fault of his own, anyway. If he has been disqualified, because it's not clear right now.
Well, this is what I mean. We're still waiting to see what comes out. I mean, I'm just checking it now. They're still saying that, yeah, you know, he has been disqualified and he has lost second place. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It's funny how Formula One works. Really, really crazy how funny Formula One works.
Today, if you wanted to get into Formula One today, watch today's race. This is the chaos of Formula One. It's absolute stupidness.
It will sum it up in a nutshell. And 2021 has been actually, let's be honest, guys, it's been epic so far.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
We didn't think it would be like this, did we? We thought it would be just a case of Lewis, you know, riding off into the distance. Obviously, after preseason testing, we saw that Red Bull had, you know, the quicker car, and it's been great. It's not just at the front of the grid, all over the place. It's thrown up spontaneous race wins. It's been drama, chaos, emails, diagrams being sent, you know, back and forth, bitching, handbags, you name it. F1's got it, man. But yeah, guys, any more? Anything else you want to touch on today?
What was I going to say? I just want to make a statement. I want to say, if Vettel is disqualified, Carlos Sainz has got more points than Leclerc. Cheers.
And on that note, guys, we got a 4-week break coming up. I ain't going to take no more Leclerc slander. So I guess we have to wrap the pod up there. Leclerc got taken out unfairly, okay? And he was on course for a great finish.
It doesn't matter to me. It don't happen to me. I don't care. But anyways, we're going to still be here during the summer break. We're going to be having some interesting pods coming up. So make sure you tune in, guys. We've got you covered.
Yeah, definitely. So as Formula One winds down for 4 weeks, we are not going away. We're going to be here. As exactly what Mahad touched on, we've got some great content coming up to keep you going over the next few weeks. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Hopefully the second half of the season will be just as interesting as the first half. And yeah, obviously do all the good things. Let us know what you thought about the pod. At us on Twitter. Get in our mentions. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you think of the content. Join us on Discord. It's like a huge WhatsApp chat there where we interact and discussing Formula One daily. And yeah, with that,
follow us on the gram.
Oh yeah, Instagram. Instagram's fired up now. Chris is looking after that. So yeah.
Follow us on give us comments on YouTube and likes. I like to see comments on YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. Get involved on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Even just tell me what you think on my shirt. Just say anything.
Say something, man. Even give us slander. You know, we're gonna have a Joe Venazzi Alfa fan in the comments raging at us. But guess what? Yeah, we're hearing
it. So yeah, guys. I guess on that note, we're gonna wrap it up there. So yeah, until next time. Peace.